Silver's Flamex says, wait, hang on. Silver's Flamex says, okay, tell me when. Silver's Flamex says, Drive Hogback was a man of middle age, and due to his misshapen form he was quite lonely and not very sociable, so his next course of action is understandable. Dr. Hogback appeared naked before Foxy, and Foxy gazed upon a sight unseen for many a moon, even by Hogback himself, Hogback's penis. It was a penis of average size, except for one defining feature, it was sewn together for. Silver's Flamex says, two penises. Now, I'm not sure how often it is that a man sews together his own penis, but it's understandable it'd be a little sloppy, so as you can imagine, half of the penis is scrunched and decaying slightly, giving off a rather foul odor. However, the odor was not due to the weeks, possibly months without soap to grace this hodgepodge of a dong, but due to the horrible infection. Silver's Flamex says, that line stitches, giving it the sickly yellowish tiny, and occasionally it would secrete a bubbling foam. Underneath this penis is one large gorilla's testicle that gives him considerable ejaculation power and longevity. Dark Amy says, thank you Silver. Dark Amy says, I was hoping it would be that. Silver's Flamex says, Drive Hogback was not expecting Foxy to take to the naked man so quickly, and so animalistically. You see, Foxy used his Noro beam to slow down Hogback so he himself could dominate this relationship, and before Hogback could even finish his slow down no, Foxy put a finger up to his thin crusty lips and said, hush my darling, we mustn't spoil the moment Foxy. Then lathers his. Silver's Flamex says, nose in smegma, the only available lubricant at the time, and sticks it into Hogback's urethra, using his right hand to hold Hogback in place while he committed this act of man love and using his free hand to fist his own butthole. With his nose fully placed inside of the sewn-together penis, he begins to wiggle it around violently. While this act of penile pleasure was occurring, Silver's Flamex says, unbeknownst to the two lovers in the throes of passion, Blackbeard's giant pasty hairy ass emerges from the lagoon as though it were a gallant sea beast and begins to open wide in preparation of consumption of the two lovers. However, before this can begin, Blackbeard must first unhinge his butt jaw while takes very careful maneuvering on Lafitte's part. He lives there, you see this. Silver's Flamex says, as I went, Foxy notices the buttocks emerging from the murky depths and locks eyes with Lafitte, only to get a smile and blank gaze right back at him. Lafitte then prances from the gaping asshole of a future pirate king covered in various fluids and chunks of previous meals. Lafitte then dances over to the two lovers and emits a beautiful mating call to lure the two lovers into the. Silver's Flamex says, beast. But Blackbeard does not have such patience. His asshole hungers, and it lets out a melodious groan periodically, further lulling the two lovers into a further less sense of security. Lafitte soon dances his way back into the cavernous asshole of the Gravity Man. Foxy and Hogback follow suit. Silver's Flamex says, however, they had barely entered when Blackbeard's asshole snaps shut with the strength of 12 banana crocs. Catching Foxy's left leg, he attempts to saw this leg off in a vain attempt, lest he be pulled fully into the beast. Soon his entire being is pulled through the anus and his body is crushed under the pressure. The anus now shows its content by undulating at its newest sacrifice. Silver's Flamex says, however, merely having a corpse within does not satisfy Blackbeard, and he begins to secrete a thick mucus from his anal glands, that is a hoarhead shade of green, and begins to fill up the anal cavern, and drown the still suffering young lovers. They try to break free, but it is to no avail, for once you touch the anal syrup, you cannot escape. Lafitte meanwhile sits back and enjoys. Silver's Flamex says, this display of Blackbeard's power, and plans to enjoy what remains to nourish himself. Silver's Flamex says, fin. Silver's Flamex says, you're welcome.